Welcome back, everyone, to the Bank Customer Experience Summit podcast. My name is Bradley Cooper. I'm the content director for the Bank Customer Experience Summit. And joining me today is Regina DeMars. She is the Director of Content Marketing and Social Media Strategy for First National Bank of Omaha. She'll be one of the keynote speakers for the event, and we want to bring her on to really give you all a preview of what she will be talking about at the summit, especially in regards to content. It's nice to meet you, Regina. How are you doing today?
Good. Nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
Excellent, excellent. So just to go over it, it's said one thing that's said commonly is content is king. But in your opinion, what type of content strategy actually works in this day and age?
Yeah. Content is definitely king in today's digital landscape, but really the effectiveness of a content strategy depends on different factors. So,
Sure.
who your target audience is, the industry that you're in, as well as the ever changing platform trends. But as I thought about this, just a few overarching principles that really can work no matter what is having an audience centric approach. So you obviously want to think about who your audience is, what their needs are, what their preferences are, kind of what their pain points are, and tailor your content strategy to them. And also think about the different formats. So we basically usually with my content strategy, I'll pick a topic, but then
Mhm.
think about how we can deliver it in different formats. So some people love to read blogs and long form content. Other people want to see videos.
Right.
Some like listicles, infographics, or podcasts, or interactive content. So just thinking about the format that is going to be best for your audiences. Obviously, you want your content to add value. Look at it from an SEO perspective. We have a small
Sure.
team, so we're always looking at like, what are people searching for, and then deliver that content based on that information. We also do a lot of storytelling. So we know that storytelling creates that emotional connection. So we're always thinking about how do we personalize it and how do we really create that deeper emotional connection.
Right. And so there's a lot of, new and also just differently packaged content out there to utilize, like as you mentioned, podcasts, blogs, list. So in your opinion, how has content strategy really changed in this new era of AI and all these different tools?
Yeah, it's changed a lot in the last few years. And I mean, it's really only going to continue to change very rapidly based on,
Mhm.
technology advancements, the consumer behaviors, and then also, the lovely platform algorithms are always changing. So I think a big thing is just making sure your content is authentic and
Right.
transparent. We obviously offer products and services, but we don't want to be over promotional or sales focused. So thinking about how again we can add that value and not just be, boastful talking about our products and services, and then making our content really visually compelling. We shifted our strategy probably 7 years ago from using more graphics to shifting to real photos. We leverage our employees a lot for our content. We do a lot of videos, and we'll just say, hey, we need a video on this, and
Right.
grab people from marketing because people build relationships with people. And so people, really like to see others that they can, relate to. So making sure that that content's not just static, kind of boring content. Also, we look at making sure it's mobile optimized. And then just looking at our analytics and saying, what are people engaging with the most? And then creating more of that content.
Certainly. So, moving ahead, how can that content really be converted into actions from the customer side to kind of that call to action with the content? How can we do that?
Yeah. Well, first, you really want to make sure you do have a call to action.
Right.
I look
Certainly.
at I look at a lot of other competitors and just not even in our space, but sometimes when I see the content, I'm like, okay, that was great. It was informative, but what did you want me to do with that? So make sure
Mhm.
that you have a call to action for just, what is your desired action that you want your audience to take, whether that's, purchasing a product or a service or signing up for a newsletter or just kind of engaging with your brand. Just, making sure you have that call to action. And it's really important. A lot of times I'll see brands, customers will comment and then nobody responds back. So you want to make
Mhm.
sure that you are engaging, whether it's commenting or liking, and also encouraging kind of that user generated content. We do that a lot with our audiences just to, kind of deepen
Sure.
that relationship and build that brand loyalty. And then also, a lead gen perspective. We create a lot of content that ideally we're adding value and that starts the relationship and will hopefully, turn into a customer.
Excellent. So, talking more about banking specifically, what sort of content do you think works the best for retaining bank customers? Because that's a big issue right now because there's the competition is so high from neobanks and all the different competitors in the market right now.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's a mix of, informative, educational, creating, kind of personalized content, and also adding in the entertainment factor. So we're a bank, and at FMBO,
Right.
we offer a lot of financial advice and guidance. We have a whole series. We call it our Cashology series, but we have a podcast, we have a blog, we have a YouTube series, we have a Facebook page. So thinking about where our customers are and where they're seeking that information and providing it in that format that they want. So whether it's budgeting and savings tips or
Hmm.
investment strategies, retirement. So just all of that added value content. So when they are thinking about maybe a new relationship or expanding upon a current one, they'll think of
Sure.
FMBO. We do talk about our products and services. You have to do that. But again, we do
Hmm.
it in more of an entertaining way. We also love going back to what I mentioned before, storytelling. So we love to share our customers' success stories and testimonials because ideally, I think if other people see, oh, wow, they helped me, find a home or they helped me start my new small business, then they'll think, okay, wow, they're really providing that value. And maybe that's something I can partner with them on.
Sure. Yeah. Storytelling can be effective also in drawing in new customers, which is one I want to talk with you a little bit. What role does content strategy play in bringing onboarding new people into your banking relationships?
Yeah. So I think also, again, that educational content. So addressing any
Oh, absolutely.
concerns that people have. We engage with our customers all the time, but we also get questions from prospects. So making sure that we are responding to them in a timely manner, um, really providing that content that they're looking for. We do a lot of promotional offers. We do a lot of, giveaways. So sign up bonuses, referral awards, special discounts for new customers. So that can help convert them
Sure.
into becoming customers. And we also really, we say it as one of our content pillars. We want to be the bank of choice by aligning with our customers' needs and values and showing up where they're at. So we're really involved in, nonprofit organizations across our markets, different events and
Hmm.
sponsorships. So just being sure that our brand is visible and attracting new customers, when they're in the right mindset to consider a new banking relationship.
Right. That is definitely some really great information. And I wanted to kind of dive a little bit deeper. So, as I mentioned previously, you will be one of our keynote speakers at the Bank Customer Experience Summit. Do you mind giving us just a little preview of something you might be sharing that's interesting?
Yeah, I know. I can't wait for the presentation. And I
Excellent.
think it'll be really beneficial because I really am going to focus on sharing practical tips on crafting
Excellent.
compelling content, leveraging analytics, which is very important. Everyone always wants to know what's the ROI on
Oh, yeah,
that, and
absolutely.
really how you can adapt your strategies to meet, evolving consumer expectations. I am going to talk a lot about, I coined it like clicks into customers. So, how you can do that and how you can fuel sales. We have some unique kind of unboxing experiences that we've leveraged at FMBO that have driven a lot of engagement. And we've seen comments online saying, okay, I'm going to sign up to be a customer now. And then just how we're using all social media to really drive brand loyalty and
Right.
advocacy, and specifically TikTok. So it took a couple years to get TikTok approved, and we're always watching the trends on what's going on with TikTok, but it
Sure. Yeah,
has
there's a lot of questions about
been
it.
always, but it has been a great channel for us to leverage across all of our content pillars. So I'm going to talk about all of those things, but I think it'll be just a really good way practically for no matter what industry you're in or the role that you're in at a bank, that you can leverage for your company.
Right. And I want to talk a little bit more about your bank specifically. So, how has the First National Bank of Omaha's content strategy sort of developed over time? You mentioned that TikTok was a new thing you've been doing, but how has that developed over time, your content
Yeah.
strategy?
Oh, yes. So I have been here, I've been at FMBO for almost 9 years. It's
Okay.
evolved a lot. So like we've kind of talked about, customer preferences are always changing, technology advancements, and then just the trends. So we are constantly looking at what are the right channels based on where our audiences are,
Hmm.
what are those formats, what are they engaging with, and we want to make sure that we're relevant. So when I
Absolutely.
started, we had kind of market specific Facebook pages, and we were only talking about local market events, which was fine at the time. But we weren't talking about our products and services at all. We weren't talking about how ingrained we were in our communities. And we've been around for over 166 years. So we have
Right.
a lot of stories to tell. So just kind of went back to the basics and developed our content pillars and said, okay, what are the messages that we want to focus on? And we brought all of our market specific channels under FMBO umbrella when we rebranded. We brought our websites together, our social
Hmm.
channels. So that really helped us be able to tell a more cohesive story across all the markets. So going back to kind of our pillars, we focus on our brand's promise. We talk about our products and services, but again, in a fun way. And then how we can be the employer of choice, the bank of choice, and then obviously a financial trusted resource, and then a strategic community partner. So kind of just went back to what are those pillars? What are all the stories we can tell? And how much of those do we want to share across our channels? And we launched a blog,
Hmm.
podcast. So we're active on all social media channels. We leverage influencers. We have an employee brand ambassador program. So just continuing looking at where are our customers, what are our employees engaging with, and making sure that we're there.
Sure. So obviously you mentioned TikTok. So I was curious, what role does TikTok and the other social media channels play in your strategy?
Yeah. So I would say all of our social media platforms really help us increase our brand visibility, reach those new audiences, but mostly foster community engagement. So TikTok, we have a lot of fun with TikTok, but
Right.
we leverage it to play off trending topics. So, those are always changing, or like every minute there's a new trend, it seems like. But
Hmm.
most recently, like with the of course trend or the Stanley Cup craze, we kind of had our own FMBO branded. They looked Stanley-ish bottles, and we quickly created a video of them kind of flying off the shelves just with our employees. So we do a lot from a trending topic perspective, but we also use the channel to showcase, day in the life videos of our employees. What is it like to work at FMBO? So we'll
Excellent.
focus on a lot of different roles at the company so people understand that it's not just all bankers at
Mhm.
FMBO. We have a lot of different roles, so we have fun with that. We feature our small business customers. We do a lot from our nonprofit organizations. Will show employees building a house for Habitat for Humanity. So it's just a fun way, quick and short way to get people engaged and draw them in. And it's been a really great platform for us to reach a younger demographic as well.
Sure, there's definitely a lot of users on it too. So, yeah, you've given us a lot of really great insights into content strategy today in social media. Is there anything else you'd like to add for our audience?
Yeah, I think just, if you're considering attending BCX conference in September, that'd be great. There are so many wonderful speakers. And again, I think, you'll hear a lot of very tangible ways to be able to implement an effective content strategy for your brand and help really drive, customer engagement and sales.
Right. Thank you so much, Regina, for joining us today. And I want to remind all our listeners that the Bank Customer Experience Summit will be held from September 9th through the 11th in Charlotte, North Carolina. And if you act now, you'll get a much better rate if you take advantage of one of our early bird deals. And also, it will be co-held with Interactive Customer Experience Summit, and one badge will gain you entry to both events. Thank you so much for joining us today, Regina.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Take care.